The pre-game stretch.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day. It's an interesting roll tonight, and I didn't even tell Johnny this. I told him I was going to take a nap. I overslept and woke up late, so I missed the opening, and I came in at literally the finish of the first match. So I'm going to let you. I know Paul, Seth, and the boys came out to open the show.
I'm going to tell you something before we even go there. You speak of oversleeping. The other night, the main event, Saturday main event.
Yeah.
I turned it on 40 minutes into it, so I had missed Seth Rollins' opening. Also, I went on YouTube, caught it, and went nothing new under the sun. Not surprising. You know, you want to talk about the opening, and if almost word for word, you kind of get the same production going on. I tell you, these stories seem to repeat themselves. I see John Cena's story as Seth Rollins' story. It's to me, they're both going to take wrestling by storm. Even the John Cena thing in the beginning, The Rock held up three fingers as if there was going to be this three-group entity, and lo and behold, The Rock he forgot he had prior engagements that are more important than wrestling, which is his Hollywood career. He signs these movie deals and he just doesn't know what he has on the table. Or it's just his ignorance. He really doesn't care what goes on with the WWE. He's put it so far behind him that it's the least of his worries. And John Cena coming in to try to help it, save it, whatever the case may be. This is the problem that's wrong with the WWE. They have no talent there strong enough to put asses in the seat, like you said. There's nobody there that could sell out. Yeet's not doing it for sure. LA Knight's not doing it. They had the strongest man, the monster amongst men. You know what they're going to do? They're going to burn the bridge with the Wyatt Six. You wait and see if they don't try to put them in some kind of angle where everything else gets buried and pushed aside as an afterthought. Because if you look at what they've done so far, everything in the WWE is an afterthought to me.
There's so much you said there. Let me go back to The Rock real quick. The Rock,
Eric, I need you.
He books, like you said, he books all these movies, which takes him away from WWE. He also runs what's the football league he bought and then merged with another football league, World Football League, whatever it is. So he's running a football league that draws like an indie show. They draw 200 people to 50,000 freaking seat stadiums. He goes and does his movies. And in reality, he's like, I think one of the top shareholders of WWE. He's one of the biggest,
That's not true.
No?
No, that's not true. Vince McMahon is. Yeah.
He's still, because I know he sold a lot.
He listen, I try to explain this. He's the owner. He's not going to cut his nose off to spite his face. He's never going to be done with it officially. It'll be his payday until he chooses it not to be. as far as I know, like I was saying, he has clause in the contract that he could take over and tell the shareholders to pound sand up their ass, and that includes The Rock.
That's a crazy clause. But somebody actually, I forget who it was, somebody actually messaged me earlier today and said the same thing. They said, I heard there's a clause that if Vince isn't happy with the way the direction of the company's going, he can buy it back. I said, that's what I've been told.
Listen, there's things I'm going to tell you. You know, you don't have to believe me. You really don't. You know, I'm one of the smartest men in the business. I got it. I got out with a reputation above board. Last I checked, I didn't take shit. I didn't kiss ass, and I held the titles.
And mic drop. So, all right, so let's go. So the show opened with those guys, and pretty much like Johnny said, same thing over and over. Then we had the first of two qualifying matches tonight for Money in the Bank. We had Penta versus Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee, and I imagine that was a hot match.
It was a good match. I wouldn't say it was. It was an above average mid card match. You know, Penta. I think they wasted a lot of money with Penta. Not unless the money that we were all led to believe he was making is all a lie. I don't think anything happening with this kid until they give him his brother as a tag team, and that's deciding if they even want to put them on the blue brand with the tag team, because right now the tag teams are hot in the blue brand.
Really? Yeah, okay. Because I was, as we saw the three-way tag match later in the show tonight, I was saying to myself, I just have zero interest in any of these tag teams that I see.
Well, that's because you got to see the War Raiders, who they missed the mark a long time ago. They changed their name too many times. They had a gimmick that was pretty strong in the NXT, and sometimes you want.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It was a different gimmick.
Yes, they had something else with Valhalla, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They have been changed at least 2-3 times and went right back to where they should have never been, and that's on Main Event TV. I don't believe that they were any better than NXT, quite seriously. And that's the problem with a lot of the talent that's coming through the NXT. It seems like anybody could be a star in the NXT. And when they come up, there's nothing there.
Right.
There's something missing. If it's not their size, it's their ability to carry a match or even cut a promo where you have interest in a match. And there's another thing that's missing from the business, the true art of the promo. You know,
God, we saw that so much tonight. I mean, like you're saying, so many lackluster promos that it just shows you how important it is in this business. And when you're seeing, which we saw multiple times tonight, it makes you wonder.
You know, Gunther was feeding Jey Uso his lines.
Yeah, totally.
And you want to tell me this? I always said it. They were Germantown's garbage collectors, and that's where they belong, picking up the garbage in Germantown Avenue. And I won't say who I'm speaking of, but you know, I believe a lot of these guys do not belong in the positions that they have, and I don't know with the contract. Could it be that the upper echelon has made so much money that they don't even care about the product anymore because it's a sold show? It's a guarantee. You know, they're sold out overseas no matter what pay-per-view event they go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put over there no matter what town it's in, what size venue it is. They're selling out overseas, and you know they might be well suited to take this act and leave town with it because in the United States, for me as a wrestling fan, it's just not something that I really care to see. Mind you, I'm watching it and we're doing this, you know, as if it's really important. You know, is it really worth the 2.5 hours with a lot of commercials?
The commercials are just ungodly, ungodly. Also, too, like you were saying about the overseas crowds, and we've made this comment quite a few times as we do these shows, just how the overseas crowd are just so hot. Tonight's crowd, again, I mean, they've been there all weekend. Tonight's crowd was just dead, dead.
They've been dead every time they've been in the venues in the states, as they say. They have nothing going for them. I mean, come on, look at Selena Vega. She breaks that poor beautiful girl's nose last night. Is it just to work a gimmick so that they could do a Trish Stratus shield again or a Cody Rhodes shield on the face? You know, they play that over and over with the broken nose, also with the plastic surgeon. She may have a new gimmick, I hear. Chelsea Green, that is. And it just may be the world's most beautiful face guard. No, you're laughing. I mean, listen, if Yeet sells tickets, why wouldn't a beautiful face guard? You could see the little girl. You could see all the little girls going to school with their little face guards.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can.
Could you imagine?
Hey, if they sell cereal, why not a face guard?
Exactly. Hey, you're right. You're right. Well, in that first match, Penta went over, and Penta is now in the Money in the Bank match.
Is there any guess really who's going to win the Money in the Bank match, and does it really matter?
We'll get into that. Next up, we had a nice little Judgment Day promo backstage. Roxanne comes out with another big tray of chicken nuggies for Dom, and the return of Liv Morgan. And Liv is not a happy camper, which then Liv ends up having a match later the evening, which we will get into. But then we get this match of Rusev versus Tozawa, or whatever his name is. I mean, what's the point, really? I mean, this match was 3 seconds. You knew exactly what it was going to be, and then basically it was just a setup for Sheamus to come in and them two to have a stare down, say a couple words off mic to each other, and I mean, did anybody care? No.
Wasted contract space for talent that really matters. Rusev's best years have been behind him. My honest opinion. When he was in and he was with Lana, I didn't appreciate his talent then either. Well, not that he had any talent to really draw my attention to, but him against Sheamus, I actually thought they were going to hug each other and have a new tag team.
I did too. At one point, I thought they were going to hug each other.
Well, and I don't mean that in any weird way. I mean that, like, we can beat up people now. I got news for you. You put them two together, and they'll beat the living crap out of them War Raiders, and it would be a beat well worth seeing.
That would add excitement to the tag team division and those two, because I say to myself each Monday that since Rusev has been back, I'm like, what was the point? I don't see any marketability or anything that's going to make me say, I need to be here. I need to go buy a ticket. I need to make sure I am tuned in to watch a Rusev match.
Would you watch Rusev as a tag team with Sheamus? I know
I would. I would, because
I would.
Sheamus, he always ends up working nice matches, nice stiff matches, and he fucking kicks some ass when he gets in there with the right person. Them two together would be fucking beast.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, if they stuck Tugboat and Earthquake together and made those two work, I'm positive those Rusev and Sheamus could work. And just think of the ideas of the names you could come up with.
Right. And I think Sheamus needs something too. I mean, he's well overdue for some type of change.
It'd be nice for him, definitely. Yeah, and you know what it does for him and Rusev. It gives them the ability to work a match without being blowed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can only do so much when you're Rusev, and you can only do so much when you're Sheamus. You put them together, you might be able to do a lot. I know Vince McMahon would make it work.
Yeah. And I think, and you said it already, seeing them in a match with guys like the War Raiders would be badass matches.
You know, I got to stop giving away my brainstorms.
We need to set up a Venmo or a Cash App for you so they can start dropping you some money.
You know what I really like? I like to hear from the people on Facebook and YouTube to ask questions, what they think our opinion is on certain things that are going on, or things that you and I know, and, you know, we won't answer unless we're asked.
How about that?
How about that? Or you could do something even better. You could let me see what the people are saying as we're watching. So it's a live.
Oh, I'm popping them up down there. Have you been seeing them?
No, listen, man. I'm looking on a phone.
All right, let me scroll through real quick. Michelle says, "Happy Memorial Day, guys. I'm watching the Penguin run his big yap." Gianni's in the house. Said, "Good evening, my brothers." He said also too, WWE product right now reminds him of WCW from the 2000s, but only worse. He said Dragon Lee is better in his opinion. He said, "I agree with you, Johnny. They are making money hand over fist and they don't care." He also says he loves him some Liv and chicken nuggets.
He's saying more now than he said while he sat here.
Magic Mike's in the house. He said, "Hey guys, it's great to see Johnny. Not in the dark. What's up, Chubby?" And Tim Mendeval just popped on. He's here as well. Happy Memorial Day.
Well, hello, everyone. Nice to have you here tonight with us to talk about what is a sad state of the wrestling world and some people's opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. So next up, we had the three-way tag match, which was.
Well, 1 second. I'm sorry.
Sure.
You know, someone said about Paulie running his yap.
Yes, Michelle did.
I forgot to let you know this, and it's funny because he was running his yap in the beginning, and what he was trying to do was explain away the lame combination of Bronson Reed with Seth after Seth got avalanched by him 5 times off the, they were trying to make this shit work and explain it to the people, because obviously there must be people out there that understand that what they're doing isn't making sense. So, he's trying to put the horse in front of the cart because all this time the cart's been running away from the horse.
Mm. There you go.
Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Next match. Bam.
Three-way tag match. The champions New Day taking on the War Raiders and the Creed brothers. You know, it was a nice match, but I just kept saying to myself, I don't care. I had zero interest in it. It was hard to hold my attention, even though all, 6 guys were working nicely. I just had no interest in it.
I guess you have no interest in it because, as you said, the tag team's weak.
Yeah.
The tag teams that they have there just don't have any storyline behind them. Truly, I mean, you have all these little cliques. You know what would be great if you seen Carlito in a match. He's there. Besides smashing apples, these things just are a waste of time. And if you put Rusev with Sheamus, you might have some interest in all 3 of those tag teams.
I agree. And I want to give props to Carlito for having line of the night as well, which I forgot to mention in that Judgment Day promo where Liv came back into the fold. And after she walked away pissed off, Carlito turned to Dominic and said, "Yo, bro, you got to stop trying to eat her nuggets." Who won? New Day won. They kept the belts, but yeah, I just
Yeah, they're keeping them on New Day as long as there's no talent there to work, and that's the truth. New Day may be the most talented tag team working together on Raw.
I agree. They're look. I'm not taking anything away from them, but you also nailed it on the head a minute ago. Because none of these teams have a decent storyline going with them that you can get interested in.
I have a lot of interest in the New Day for some reason. I find them 2 talented guys. As far as the rest of the tag team division, though, no. What would be interesting is, like I just said, if they would pull what's his name, Finn Balor and Carlito or JD McDonough, and they work them a little bit more as opposed to always putting them into these back stage segments, which are always some kind of comedy, underhanded double entendre.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, JD, a waste of talent that we don't get to see enough of. I mean, him and Finn together make a great team as well.
Well, I see the dissension with Finn Balor.
Yeah,
you know he's setting up Dom to have problems with Liv. That's why Rosie Perez, what's her name again?
Raquel or Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne Perez. That's the only reason why she's there.
Yeah.
He kept saying that they wanted to bring someone in. Do you remember? And that was only because Liv wanted to bring someone in. So what does he do? He brings in, there's definitely something great brewing there.
Yeah.
How long they wait to do it though? There goes another thing. They may just lose interest, everyone's interest in that because they're too busy wasting their time with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and now
Bronson Reed. Yeah.
And not for nothing, man. CM Punk's involved in that bullshit too. No interest in CM Punk.
No interest from Johnny. Let me get some comments out here. Magic Mike says he's waiting for a name for this faction, which I'm pretty sure he means the Paulie faction. Love that great match. Tag teams are amazing. Okay. Michelle says, right on, Johnny. And by the way, tomorrow, look for an email from me. I want to send you a T-shirt like the one I wore at the One and Done show.
Awesome.
Yes, I gave her your email the other night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Magic Mike says the War Raiders are so talented. You know what?
They are. Right. Mike, you're so right, Mike.
But again, say it. No, say it because you said it already.
We're both going to say the same thing. There's no interest in them. I just don't see that. As big as they are, you would expect a lot more brutality from them. I think the reins have been pulled back on them. Their talent is hidden with generic wrestling as opposed to letting them run wild. And like I said, you want to see them run wild, you let Triple H take his head out his ass and stop worrying about all this other crap, and you let Sheamus and I guess I'm just going to keep repeating myself there. Sheamus and what's his name again?
Rusev.
Rusev. You can put them together as a tag team against the War Raiders.
Let me ask you this question, John, because you just said something, and I thought, when I've done booking, and even back at One and Done, when I talk to people about their matches, and I've done this for years, I never tried to hold people back. I can't tell you how many times I said to people that night at One and Done, this is your fucking time. Go shine. Go show the people what you got. Get yourselves fucking over. Work your magic and do it. Like, I don't – and I think you're right. I think, in situations like that, you got like people like Triple H or whoever, whatever federation it is, they pull people back and they rein them in and they put the brakes on these people. And I think, wouldn't you want to take those brakes off and let these people go out and show what they got and see what you're fully, totally working with and what stars you create for the better of the company instead of worrying about, don't overstep Hulk Hogan's shoes or something like that, because that was the big thing for so many years.
It gets worse than that. You got a bunch of prima donnas. Did you know that Randy Orton got people fired because he didn't like the way they worked? He thought they were too stiff.
Really?
Yeah. He didn't like certain people the way they worked because they were too over. And listen, I was a victim of it. Tony and I were victims of it. Okay, and this ain't about Tony and I never try to make this about us, But yeah, you have a bunch of prima donnas who go to the promoter or go to whoever they can suck up to the most, and they start crying about the other talent. You go, oh, here's something. You go, that guy's using my suplex, or hey, that guy's using my clothesline. Listen, jerk off. When did you invent a clothesline, or when did you invent a suplex? You had that little fucking asshole midget Taz. Oh, you can't do this suplex. Oh, I do that suplex. Oh, you can't do this. I do that. Even the whole group of them all cried about their spots, and that's why. That's why a lot of guys are held back. You got mid-talent guys that are afraid to speak up. They're afraid to speak up for themselves because they want to work. Some guys speak up and they're gone because you don't know whose toes you're stepping on. I just told you, Randy Orton, Mr. Kennedy. You asked Mr. Kennedy about his position in the WWE or WWF, whatever it was at the time, because Randy Orton gets him fired. He didn't like him. Are you fucking kidding me? this kid was going to get the strap, but Randy Orton has a problem with him. It happened in ECW. You had some junkie, cigarette smoking, beer guzzling fool sucking up to the promoter, and the promoter was believing anything that this idiot would say, and he thought he knew everything about wrestling. This jerk off. Meanwhile, he didn't even know how to wrestle. His best thing that everybody believes his best thing was walking to the ring and drinking a beer. What a fucking jerk off. But that, I digress.
And we have the next segment. We had the in-ring promo of Jey Uso. It's painful. It's like you got Jey is all yeet and no fucking speak, because when he gets on that microphone, it's just painful. I feel bad for him. He should not be cutting promos.
What's
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. But what's
Hey,
now it's turned out to fucking painful gas groans on a toilet. Are they going to sell a shirt with yeet and a toilet seat?
The worst part is works. It's better than when he actually forms words.
Yeah, but if you notice what I've been telling you about these close camera shots with the kids and the way they set it up for him to look like everybody's really, really into it. And don't talk about the pull away camera when the whole arena is doing what they're doing, because all those people are a bunch of moronic boobs. That's why they're doing whatever. After this, where's the wrestling? Super kick only worked. The super kick only worked for Chris Adams so long, and then Shawn Michaels stole it from him.
Yeah, but they did 1, maybe 2 super kicks if there was one missed earlier in the match. Jey Uso does 18 in a match.
Didn't he hijack WrestleMania with a match against his brother where all they did was a bunch of kicks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this kid's a main event. Listen, I don't know who's listening to Paul Levesque. I don't know who's listening to Paul Heyman. I don't even know who's listening to this guard. Look, man, yeet. Next.
Let me run through some comments real quick.
Yeah, Mikey was right. The War Raiders are talented.
Let's see. Do you guys think we'll see Carlito more now that AAA is new to the brand, so to speak?
Don't expect much of the AAA. It's a bunch of little guys with masks trying to get across the border.
They showed a couple of the matches that you're going to see in 2 weeks, and I don't think I heard of any of the 6 people they mentioned.
You know who's from there? That dude that was going out with Saraya. What was his name? That kid. He was a champion. Vince McMahon liked him. I can't remember his kid's name. He was the Spanish kid.
I don't know.
I'll think of his name, but
oh my God! Get the fuck out of here!
What do you hear? Stuff in the background?
Yeah, what is that?
Coco on the phone.
Tell her we're live on YouTube.
Michelle says Raw's tag team division is horrible. The New Day is the only decent tag team.
Yeah. Imagine that. And they've been around there how long? You see, this is what I'm telling you. The best thing that probably will happen is that Jey Uso will get his grill kicked out of his mouth by Gunther, and he'll go back to tag teaming, or he'll go back to work in a car wash with his brother.
So does Jey drop the strap in 2 weeks back to Gunther?
I believe he's going to drop the strap. I don't believe it's to Gunther.
Hmm.
I still really like the Prime kid,
Oh, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. I see him work. I see him getting that title.
Michelle says you are welcome, Johnny, for the T-shirt. One thing I love about WWE is there's something for everyone.
There definitely is. There's intermission.
There's intermission. It's funny. They act like Rusev was never in the WWE. I mean, they kind of do. I did the same thing when I was booking in 2009. I booked the women's match on my main event. Alrighty.
There's nothing wrong with the women's match as a main event.
Hell no.
I mean, like, seriously, let's say you're running the independents and you have Rhea Ripley on the independent scene. She's a main event against Tessa all night long.
Gianni says the main reason that they don't let them go is because of the liability.
I don't listen, Gianni. I hate to break this to you, but they're their own insurance company when they have Morgan and Morgan working for them.
He also says you can tell Jay was struggling. He was. Well, he paces so much, and he's got like nervous twitches with his face. You can tell.
Maybe he should. Maybe he shouldn't be wrestling if he's got all these issues. Especially learning. I should talk. Cutting promos isn't that easy.
No. Magic Mike says yeet is money.
For right now, he's right. It is money, Michael. But you have to ask yourself seriously, how long do you really think that this kid has? Let's say you're Vince, not while Vince is out of the picture right this second. Let's say you are doing the booking, Mike. How long do you really think it is before your fan base says, listen, enough's enough? Because they're already doing it, quite seriously.
Gianni says Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio.
That's
AAA.
the kid, Del Rio. Del Rio's the only name that AAA has that's anyone. And supposedly when his contract is up, they would have to negotiate with him if the WWE would even want to take him on.
Didn't he have a lot of heat with WWE?
Well, he was banging Paige, and and Paige,
and making videos.
Yeah, well, Paige was making videos with Wood.
Yeah,
what's his name?
She was doing the
New
two of
Day?
them. Yeah.
That's all hearsay. Wait a minute, that's all hearsay. What we say is not true.
Hey, if you saw it, it's true, and we saw it. Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane. I don't know. I don't know if it was me or whatever, but I just wasn't into the match. I thought the match was off. I don't know if it was because Liv was away for a month.
I think it's because Kairi Sane just stinks. She just came back also. Remember, I believe she may be back a month now, if that also. And not for nothing, Liv could miss a year and she'd still be better than the talent that's in the WE right now.
Yeah, I think Kairi Sane, like you can definitely see the difference between her and Io Sky. Io's like light years ahead of Kairi.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if they were ever to, which they won't, that damage control thing, there goes another group of these cliques.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't even see the Bailey coming back anytime soon. Right away.
I bet you she'll be back. I bet you.
SummerSlam.
I bet you she'll be back before that. I bet you it's going to be Becky and Bailey at SummerSlam. I think she might be back Money in the Bank.
You know, Becky. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to discuss that whole. Actually, that's
Okay.
next. So let's talk about that.
Right,
Lyra
we're
Valkyria
going into
comes in.
that.
Lyra Valkyria comes into the ring to do an in-ring promo. Again, fucking zero crowd reaction. You heard the fucking mice running through the arena in Tampa. Why are they pushing this? I mean, and no offense to her, like she can get in and work nice matches, but another one on the microphone, no good.
If you were to put her and the one who broke Chelsea Green's Selena Vega
Yeah.
and the girl that they fired from the LWO, Maria Menounos or whatever her name was, you know, I mean, come on, are you with it or no? You don't remember that group, the LWO,
Yeah.
the
Who was the
Latino
girl?
World Order. I forget her name, but they got rid of her too. But my point is this girl doesn't deserve a title. She stinks just the same as the rest of most of these girls they stink. Where's Stephanie Valkyrie?
When are they going to bring her
That's
up?
that's who deserves that title.
Yeah, totally.
Not this girl. I don't know where this one fell out of the banana boat from, but she needs to go back.
So Becky Lynch comes out.
Yes.
And I am just not a Becky Lynch fan. And I've said this many times, but Becky just annoys the living hell out of me. And then I said to myself, another one. She took a year off to spend time with her daughter and raising her family and stuff like that. Understandable, respectable, but I think to myself, taking a year off, especially in this business nowadays, where it's so fast paced, and you open that spot up, and there's 24 people waiting and are trying to get into that spot, and we're seeing it now where they're putting Lyra Valkyria in and this one here and that one here, and then pulling this one out to give them a break for a little bit. But we'll be back any day now. There's just so much going on, but it seems like I look at Becky Lynch now, and there was so much hype around her at one point a year and a half ago, and now it's kind of like time has passed you by.
It has. It has. It truly has. At one time, she was a hot item.
Yes.
But like you just said, as many people as they've been bringing in the women's division, especially, it is so fast that if you miss a week, you're gone.
Yes.
And that's what we were saying last night. Evolution, or I think that's what it's called. Evolution is the all women's show. All the girls again. They're doing that pay-per-view deal. And they're saying they may give them their own TV because, number one, they are able to hold the attention of the viewers. They definitely give you more for the hour of power than the men are giving you at this point. And when you talk about Becky Lynch hot a year and a half ago, you figure a year and a half ago, so was Charlotte Flair.
Same thing. Same thing.
And the same with the Selena Vega. This is her second or third run also.
Okay.
And it seems like a lot of these girls, they disappear, they come back, they get the title now because when they were here before, There was other girls that were wearing those titles, and now the door of opportunity has opened for them. And at the same time, it's closing because I believe they were saying, and the women had a problem with this. The age of women wrestling at 35 is considered old.
Yeah. It's definitely like I was thinking about that too recently. Like the men can go 45 to 50, but women, I think once you're over 35, it's like you're on the downside for sure.
Take the twins. What's their names?
Uh,
Bella.
the Bella twins, Nikki and
Do you know that it's going to be the most disgusting thing on TV? Is every segment that they're involved in? Just think about this.
hmm,
They're way past their prime, and for them to be given a shot at their ages, is it going to work with the younger girls?
right, right.
Are the girls willing to work with them? It's not so much are they willing to work with the younger girls at this, because when you see Natalia having to push the younger girls and doing it admirably,
Right.
you don't get that with all these girls because a lot of them have self-absorbed egos. Are you going to get their willingness to work? Tish Stratus, another one. She goes in there and she hangs and bangs with them.
Yeah.
Lita tried. It didn't work.
No.
You know,
Mhm.
with certain girls are willing to do it and don't have a problem. It works fine. Now,
Well,
yeah, for the men, you said at 45 and whatnot, they're working. Christ, back in the 80s, they were wrestling every night of the week, sometimes two nights, two shots a night,
yeah.
and most of those guys are still working.
How about that?
How about that? Yeah.
Gianni says, I see Becky joining her husband's faction after Money in the Bank, right after she loses the IC title match. I think she needs that boost to her character right now. Something like that would really put her over even more.
Would you really book something like that, Chubby? Really, I wouldn't.
I would.
Why? Well, first of all, her husband's fraction, if that's what you want to call it. This group of idiots, Seth, Braun, and Bronson. Between the three of them, do you think they could pass an IQ test?
No.
Exactly. Exactly, but my point is I don't see them generating much in the seats department, and that's this is my opinion. And then Matt and Becky, it really isn't going to add anything. You already have Liv Rodriguez and what's his name? Man, I forget the kid's name.
Dom.
Dirty Dom. No, Dirty Dom. I remember the other one.
Finn and JD.
Finn Balor. Finn, I always have a hard time remembering because he's an afterthought in my mind. He would been better. He would been better suited as that devil gimmick that he was running that Vince McMahon crushed for him.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't. Becky, I just don't get her anymore. I do like her, but I don't see her as a talent anymore worth drawing seats to the office.
Now, here's another question I got to ask. So Michelle says, I think it's going to be Becky versus Bayley for the IC belt at SummerSlam. Now, here's my question. Don't you feel like Becky was a former world champion? Isn't it I don't know if demeaning is the right word, but kind of demeaning and to the character of Becky that now she's trying to win the IC belt and she was a world champion.
Well, you see, you just said something very. Her being a world champion and then holding that title would probably add a lot more value to the title because
To the title, yes.
Yeah, because quite seriously, this title is worthless.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like they don't have. It's okay if you were looking at an A card, B card, C card for the men. It's the same thing for the women. You got you have two champions, Ito and what's the other one that's a champion too? Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany's the better champion, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Becky is not the IC title belt would be better for the girls that just came up from the NXT with the blue hair.
Julia.
She would be better with that IC belt. Give it to give a fresh face a chance in the business, man. Make her work and make the belt worth something the same way Seth said he was going to make the world title worth something.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, I think it's going to be Becky versus Bayley at SummerSlam. I do. If it's going to be for the IC belt, I don't know, but I mean, I could kind of see it. And like you said, it would add to the belt, but I think it's for both of them, Becky and Bayley, because they're both former world champions. It's almost like they're making these girls take a step back.
Now, for me, it only means that I'd be stuck having to watch either Becky or Bayley get some TV time where I don't think their promos hold up for TV time.
I agree. Mike says, Johnny, do you remember the Click got the Pirate fired because they hated how he worked and he's still working as PCO today?
The Pirate.
You mean the Mountie? Is that who is the
No,
pirate
there
guy?
was a pirate. There was a pirate. Lafoot. I forget who he was. But he was. They gave him two runs. One as a pirate and one as a Mountie also. And what the hell was his name? That's if we're even thinking about the same guy, Mike. But yeah, the Click were notorious for doing shitty things, man, to people. And that's what I was saying the other night about these guys. They have the ability to make anyone make money and be seen, man. The guys get into business. They ain't getting into business to be jobbers their whole career. But these guys have the ability to help these other guys who aren't so fortunate to get that chance, afforded the chance.
Uh-huh.
They could help these guys along, but you don't get that. You get the Click. Look at the 4 jerk-offs right there. And I know there's a couple of them that passed away. And they all forget it, man. It makes me laugh. I see these guys. They're all coming out. Sabu died. Everybody's coming out. Everybody's putting out videos about, their matches with Sabu and how high he was and this and that. Yeah. You would think the guys that were in his clique would get together with him and say to him, listen, dude, you need to get straight. Nah, man, they would pass him the drugs, man. But that's whatever.
That's a whole nother thing. Gianni says Jean-Paul Lafitte.
Yes. Jean Paul Le Foot. Le Foot.
He also says
Foot.
taking a year off pushes you light years back in your career.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And taking them bumps doesn't get any easier.
Mm-mm. And remember when the IC was the workhorse title that needs to come back.
Yeah, well, if they do that with the female intercontinental title, maybe yeah, man, they could add some prestige to one of them belts, because for me they're as good as like the Barbies holding up those titles. They're not worthless.
Yeah. All right. In the last match, another qualifying Money in the Bank match. Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. And going into this, when they showed who the 2 or 3 guys already had won in qualifying, I said to myself, they're all like mid-card guys. Nobody's a main event guy here. So I said to myself, maybe Seth, because on paper, you look at it, you instantly say, Seth's going to win this. I'm like, maybe Seth's not going to win. Maybe they're going to put Finn over as an ultimate swerve, or Sammy, because they keep dropping these little nuggets that Sammy, is never going to be a champion, will never get the big shot. So I'm like, maybe they're going to give it to Sammy and give him Money in the Bank and let him get the belt that way in the future. Or maybe they'll give it to Finn. But we had a nice match, very nice match between the 3 of them. As expected. I was not expecting any less. But we had the finish, out come Bronson and Braun, interfere. Jey Uso gets involved, blah, blah, blah. And Seth goes over for the win. Then CM Punk comes out. But I was kind of like almost shocked that they did end up putting Seth over. But, I mean, it makes the most sense.
Especially when no one else is as talented as him, able to possibly get another title shot and carry it on his shoulders until someone comes out of the woodwork, and starts taking wrestling by storm. Chad Gable.
That dude can fucking work. I don't care whether he's Chad or El Grande Americano. Either way, the fucker can work.
And they won't put a strap on him because, they'll use the excuse he just isn't big enough, but Rey Mysterio is. As far as Money in the Bank goes, I think you may be right with Finn Balor. It may be Finn Balor's year. He's been a good soldier for damn near 10 years or more. I mean, just think about how long ago it was that he won the Universal title and lost it in the same heartbeat,
But do you think I asked earlier, do you think Gunther will get the belt back in 2 weeks from Jay? And now that I'm thinking about it, no. Because I think they're going to wait and keep the belt on Jay so he can drop it to Seth.
It might make more sense to you seeing that, but wouldn't it be funny if John Cena really does cause Jay to lose that title somewhere down the line? Because they never give you these ideas and truly walk away from them.
Mm-hmm.
He has this ideal of burning wrestling down, and so does Seth Rollins with his burn it down theme.
Yeah.
And John, like I said, John Cena and Seth, they're kind of like the parity is there. They're running neck and neck with the same sort of swerve coming your way, and I'm smelling that swerve. I'm smelling it, and John Cena just may do what he said, ruin wrestling for everyone by letting a gamer walk away with the title.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Rob Woodall, what's up, Rob? New to the show. International been ruined. Bring TV title back and have them defend it like RVD and ECW. They got to do something. I mean, how about they have these belts? Let's make them freaking worthwhile. Give them some credibility somehow.
They don't have a television title in the WWE. Last I checked.
You know what I would do? You know, the TV title was an important title back in the day. How about in this new day and age, a social media champion?
Well, that would be McIntyre.
Well, which Drew McIntyre, the reason for that finish the other night, he's taken a lengthy leave of absence due to some injuries.
He's in a movie.
And he's in a movie.
Yeah.
All right, I got a bunch of comments I want to run through, and then we're gonna be. We just crossed the hour mark.
He says the international been ruined. Does he mean the Intercontinental title's been ruined? Bring a TV title back?
Yes, he did, because he corrected himself down below.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
What's this? Rob also says Demon King to come back after snapping. Who's Demon King?
Does he mean, what's his name? You didn't even bring it up. Cross. Carrying Cross with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
You know, don't be surprised if maybe Sami Zayn turns a bad guy.
And they've teased that for the last 3-4 months as well.
Everything they do is a tease, quite seriously. You know when it really makes sense that they're going to do it? When the fans keep saying to Triple H, this is what you ought to do. Yeah. And then they do it.
Mike says, Dom calls Finn again. Yes, he did.
Yes. It's going to be a great match at SummerSlam.
And Gianni says they're just building the program between Finn and Dom. I'm sure you're going to love to hear this comment. Magic Mike says the best part was the surprise at the end when CM Punk showed up.
He had to show up at the end. Somebody has to pick up the seats.
Jay probably loses the belt at SummerSlam.
Before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Hopefully they pull it from him on TV to add insult to injury.
And then they don't. They should bring one. Bring one what, Rob? Let me see. All right. Gianni says TNA have a digital title or something like that. Oh, okay. All right. At least somebody's doing that. Mike says, imagine if they have a title for title and have Cena win. I mean, it's wrestling. Anything's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think of that, John?
It would ruin wrestling forever, wouldn't it?
It would.
Wrestling's been here's something John Cena doesn't understand. Wrestling's been ruined forever when they let Goldberg in.
That one I'm not going to argue. All right, Rob says Finn Balor just woke up. Finn Balor original gimmick in WWE. Okay. Now I understand what he's saying. Let's see. Gianni says Rob's talking about Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And then Rob says TV title in WWE, but being or Netflix supposed now. Yeah, how about like a Netflix champion?
They should have a Netflix commercial belt because they run more commercials than anything.
The Netflix champion brought to you by Cash App.
There are ball wipes.
Yeah, dude wipes. Keep them balls fresh. How about my friend Mike Santana making his NXT debut?
Who's Mike Santana? Carlos Santana's brother?
Yeah, right. I did not watch the NXT show last night. Did you?
No, I did not. I had my eyes pinned.
There you go. All right. I'm gonna go pin my eyes. Any last comments, questions? We kept it to just over an hour, which I'm happy about. No, we just said that. Did we watch last night's NXT? Trick beat Joe Henry for the TNA title. Joe Henry will be coming up to the WWE main roster very soon.
I don't understand that kid. It's the worst. Listen, the more you see this happening, remember my words. TKO has one thing on their mind, and that's destroying the WWE.
And Gianni is laughing at Gianni, and not about that comment. All right. On that note, let's wrap it up. Let's call it a night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, as always, for your comments. Make sure you go down below, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Hit the like, love, subscribe button. Ring the bell. Get all those notifications if you're on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will be back, I guess, next Monday.
Yes.
Next Monday. And I'll be back Wednesday night with the bad chick, Vicious Vicky, chewing the fat and catching up with her and learning all about her and seeing all the details of what's going on in her career after her last two matches, two hot matches she had. One at One and Done with Tessa Blanchard, and then last weekend with Indy Hartwell at ACW. So she's on the verge.
I just hope she has the opportunity to get there and perform. Everyone should have that opportunity. It shouldn't be something that's only afforded to those who were related to the ones in charge.
How about
These are my opinions. And yeah, I like to see a few of the people that were on the One and Done. I would like to see them make it. There was quite a few good matches there, good talent in the future, and yeah, there you go, buddy.
Agreed.
Yeah.
On that night, thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you all soon.
Good night.